Raylene!
Pete!
Back off! I'm telling you to back off!
No!
Oh, shoot! What do you reckon?
I don't know. It's a court hearing, not a chat show.
Oh, nice to know you're feeling confident.
Well, after the hatchet job the media did on me, the coroner's got to be on my side.
Here you go, try that one. Good luck and best wishes. Hugs and kisses from Samantha.
Thank you.
Come on, PJ, who is she? Amazing, they're all coming out of the woodwork. Yeah, 2 minutes on television is instant celebrity.
Boss, call from the hospital, Stella Downer.
Stella, what does she want?
No, I reckon she's got some dying guy who wants to make a confession.
What are you grinning about?
Samantha?
Oi. She's 12 years old. She's the daughter of a family friend, but keep it to yourself, eh?
Yes, all right. Thanks, Stella. I'll get somebody over there straight away. Bye. Oh, I knew this case would come back to haunt us.
Problem?
PJ's first pinch in Mount Thomas, bloke by the name of Mickey Howson. Bashed his wife senseless with, I don't know, a brick or something. She ended up a vegetable.
Charming.
That's what the judge thought. Gave him 12 years.
And the guy in hospital?
His brother reckons he did it. Reckons we got the wrong man.
Sounds like a crock to me.
Well, we're going to have to investigate it anyway. Keep it to yourself, though. It's the last thing PJ needs right now. Question mark over his competence.
Question mark?
PJ.
No, what question
PJ,
mark?
it's nothing.
What's going on? A deathbed confession.
We've got to check it out.
It's a waste of time, boss. Mickey Howson admitted it. He had his wife's blood all over him. It's an open and shut case.
I'm sure you're right, but when new evidence comes to light,
The guy is dying. He's got nothing to lose.
PJ, we can't just ignore this. Now, one of us has to go over there and get a statement while this bloke's still alive to make one.
I'll go.
I'll come with you. I know the case.
All set, PJ?
G'day, Derek. How are you? You know Tom Croydon,
Tom.
Maggie Doyle.
Hi.
9:30, we'd better get going.
Yes, mate, on my way.
Luke in his Sunday best, man.
Well, Sophie Camilla doesn't miss a trick.
Who's she?
No, she's some legal pig dog that Darcy's a fine.
How'd they afford her?
Publicity, mate.
Yeah? Well, she doesn't look so mean to me.
Well, she can sniff blood from 10 miles away, can't she?
Unlucky for her, there's not a scratch on you.
Silence. All stand.
Shh. It's all right, darling. Take your time.
Ricky. It wasn't him. I should have said.
Hey. It's all right. You're saying it now. Tell them what you told me.
Fiona.
Fiona, Mickey's wife.
I'm so angry.
Rod was having an affair with her at the time. She wanted to finish it, and Rod...
Mr. Howson, are you telling us it was you who assaulted Fiona? The weapon that was used in the attack was never found. Can you tell us what that weapon was?
Mr. Howson, if you...
Maggie.
He's in a lot of pain. I'm sorry. It's all right, Mrs. Howson. We understand how hard it is. We were so happy. Our little girl. How am I going to explain? What happens now? Does Mickey get released?
We'll let you know.
But Rod's confessed Mickey's innocent.
We'll be in touch.
Boss, it's just something that they've dreamed up to get your brother out of jail.
Perhaps, but I'm still going to have to call ethical standards.
You don't believe them, do you?
It's not up to me. That's what the ESD's there for.
Yeah, and where does that leave PJ?
It's proper procedure, Doyle. Can't ignore it.
No, but do we have to call him in now in the middle of his coronial inquest?
Look, I can't help the timing. Rod Howson's not going to be with us much longer.
No, neither is PJ if you make that call. No, look, I'm sorry, boss, but Howson is lying. I know he is.
Seemed pretty plausible to me.
Well, can you at least let me check it out? If I can find a hole in the story, it puts PJ in the clear. You call an ESD, the media will jump all over it. You saw what happened before.
All right. I think I could sell a 24-hour delay, but that's it. Any longer and PJ's career won't be the only one at risk.
Thanks, boss.
The second bullet entered just below the 8th rib, travelling transversely through the body, damaging the deceased spleen before exiting.
Was this the bullet which caused death?
No. No, simply the one to continue the clockwise and downward rotation of the subject away from the gunman.
And the third bullet?
The third bullet was the one which caused death, entering just above the lumbar region, shattering the spinal column and severing the aorta at that point.
I see. And death would have been...
Very rapid, almost instantaneous.
Thank you, Dr. Longman. 3 gunshots.
Yes. I couldn't believe it. All I could see was Mum lying there with blood everywhere, and him with a gun in his hand.
Who do you mean by him?
Him there. Hashem, the cop who killed my mum.
The witness is indicating Senior Detective Hashem. Can you describe for us where your mother was in relation to the detective when the third shot hit her?
She was running away from him.
Away? So where did the third bullet strike her?
In the back. He deliberately shot her in the back.
Talk about pre-rehearsed. She's making him out to be a saint. We'll take his halo and wrap it around his neck.
All right, I was angry with my dad, so what?
More than angry, surely. You doused him in petrol and were about to set him alight.
I object, Your Worship. Luke's actions are not
Luke's
relevant.
actions are at the crux of the entire incident. Please continue, Mr. Farrow.
Mr. Darcy, I was asking a question.
I don't want to go back inside, okay?
Setting your father on fire seems a pretty desperate way of getting your point across.
Oh, what's your point, mate?
Miss Camillo, would you remind your client, please, to address defending counsel in the proper manner?
Yes, Your Worship.
You've been in trouble with the police before, haven't you, Mr. Darcy? Answer the question, please.
Bit, yes.
Isn't it true that you have only recently been released from a juvenile justice centre where you served a 6-month sentence on 2 counts of assault?
That's right.
And who was the arresting officer, Mr. Darcy?
You know as well as I do.
Please, enlighten the court.
Hashem.
Miss Camillo.
I'm sorry, Mr. Hashem.
So you don't like Mr. Hashem much, and neither does your family?
No, not very much.
Now, about your mother. Would you describe her as a soft-spoken woman?
What's that got to do with anything?
Did you ever know your mother to be abusive?
No.
Violent?
No.
Did you ever know her to raise a fist in anger?
Look, it doesn't matter what she was like. She's dead, okay?
Miss Camillo.
You bastard!
Can you control your client?
Shut up!
Please.
Everyone knows it, you bastard! You should get life for what you've done to our family! Off me!
Constable, please
Kill her!
remove Mr. Darcy from the
Kill
court
her!
while I consider what to do about contempt.
Where have you been? Nick just called from the court.
Boss, I know, I'm on my way.
What's the matter?
Fiona Housen, I went to see her at the nursing home.
Well, she wouldn't have been very forthcoming.
No, she can't feed herself. She needs a machine to help her breathe.
Yes, well, whoever bashed her wasn't planning for her to survive at all. I've just been going through the brief. This isn't going to be as straightforward as you'd like it to be.
Boss, Mickey Housen confessed. You do not confess if you're innocent. You don't go to jail for 12 years and say absolutely nothing, do
He
you?
did say something. When he got into court, he retracted his confession and pleaded not guilty.
But then there must be other evidence.
Not a lot. Circumstantial, mostly. It's all in there.
But Boss, PJ would not push for a conviction without all the evidence.
Maggie, even good coppers make mistakes.
He didn't make a mistake.
Well, let's hope ESD agree with you.
Boss, you said 24 hours.
23, and by the way...
I'm going.
Now, what we're saying is that you, perhaps more than any of your colleagues, had the clearest view of what happened as the 3 shots were fired?
I'm sorry, but I can't answer for what my colleagues may or may not have seen.
But you had a good view of the incident?
Yes, I did.
Can you tell us whether, after the first shot was fired, Mrs. Darcy seemed to be still intent on assaulting Senior Detective Hashem?
Yes, she was definitely still intent.
You seem very sure.
Well, yes, I am. She had her arm raised, machete in her hand.
But the machete was at this point about to drop from her hand, surely?
No,
from the impact of the first bullet?
No, she had her arm raised in the air, ready to strike.
Video evidence does show that after the first shot was fired, Mrs. Darcy's arm was still raised.
Yes, that's right. That's what I'm saying.
But how can you be certain whether her arm was travelling forward in attack or was being catapulted back by the impact of the bullet?
Because that's not what it looked like.
Not what it looked like. Now, that's not certain, is it?
Well, no, it isn't, but it's possible that...
No, so it's also possible that the threat from Mrs. Darcy had already been removed before the second and third shots were fired.
I don't know, but...
A yes or no answer, please.
It is possible, but
Right, so, in fact, it's also possible that the second, and in particular the third shot, which, as we've shown, was the shot which actually killed Mrs. Darcy, were not fired in self-defence.
What I'm trying to say
in that case,
is that
we
it was a
have to entertain the
judgment.
possibility that Senior Detective Hasham did not shoot Raylene Darcy in the line of duty, but in fact cold-bloodedly and calculatedly murdered her.
Murder? What are you talking about? It wasn't murder. He was doing his
object.
job.
The detective is not on trial.
No more questions.
Thank you, Constable Doyle.
Quiet, please. Quiet.
Detective, any comments?
Sorry, I blew it. She got to me.
Don't worry about
No,
it,
I'm
Maggie.
supposed to be a professional. I can't even give a clear answer to
Look,
a simple
it's
bloody
not
question.
your fault. Relax.
PJ, you are not a murderer. She stood up there and...
Maggie, look. Camilla's just doing her job.
You'll be right, mate. You reckon? They nearly got you on that piece of paper, you know?
Detective, any comments?
PJ, hang on.
Yeah?
Look, it's a bad time, I know, but I need some information on the housing case.
Right. What do you want to know?
Well, anything that you can tell me about this affair that Rod says he was having.
Fair.
Yeah, with Fiona Housing.
Fiona?
You knew about that, didn't you?
Oh, he's making it up.
Well, there you go. There's nothing to worry about.
No, hang
see?
on. If you didn't think this was important, why did you bring it up?
Because if he's lying and I can prove it, then the whole story, it falls apart, doesn't it?
He's lying.
Here we go. Thanks, Chris.
Morning, Chris.
How you going?
You know, no worries.
You don't look like a man with no worries to me.
Well, we were just talking about an old case. You remember Mickey Housen?
Fella Basti's wife?
Saw him.
Yeah, I remember him. Can't say I was surprised.
What do you know about him?
Foul temper. Heard of Fiona sleeping around?
She had a bit of a reputation, did she, Chris?
Oh, yeah. Everyone knew.
Bye. I don't believe it. You would think that her husband is being strangled, that the house is being demolished.
Whereas, in fact...
She hasn't been receiving her monthly copy of Gourmet World. She's found the magazine. They've said they've delivered it, so now she thinks it's stolen.
Gourmet World.
Yeah, apparently it comes once a month. Hasn't been coming the last 3. Oh, hi, Maggie. How's PJ? He's fine. Well, when this is all over, maybe we can get back to sharing the bum jobs.
So no curly questions from Ms. Camilla?
Oh, I wouldn't say that. She's pushing for a murder charge.
She'll have her work cut out.
No, she's pretty determined.
How's PJ?
He's not saying much, but he's worried.
Well, not to add to his worries, how are you going with the housing case?
Yeah, good. PJ's been helping me, filling me in on a few things.
Such as?
Rod Housen's affair with Fiona.
That's strange. Doesn't even rate a mention in the case file. Come into my office, there's something I want to show you. My old diary.
1990.
The year PJ was transferred here. He was pretty full of himself then, could do no wrong. But I can't say I was all that happy about the way he handled the house and case. A bit too cursory for my liking. So to cover myself, I made that note there.
Grave reservations. But boss, I thought PJ got a conviction.
Oh, he did. And it all went away, and PJ became the ever-reliable PJ that we all know. The problem is, once the ESD come in on this, they're going to have to see
Boss,
this
you
done.
haven't called them in. You said I could have 24 hours.
I haven't called anybody yet. And just because I had grave reservations doesn't mean to say that PJ was wrong, but if you want to prove him right, you're going to have to do it and soon, or this could blow up in his face.
Don't worry, I will.
So what's your next move?
I've requested an interview with Mickey Housen in prison.
Right, I want to come with you.
Why are you asking all this now?
Mr. Housen neighbours reported that they heard sounds of an angry struggle.
Whoever it was long gone when I got there.
And yet we found traces of your wife's blood on your clothes and in your hair.
After you'd been driving for at least 2 hours. Why did you take off in the car? Why did you run away?
Ancient history. I don't have to answer that. You going to tell me what this is all about?
Mr. Housen, I've been told that you've been informed that your brother is dying.
Oh, Jack, for this. I want to go back to myself.
Mickey, your brother says that he's the one who assaulted your wife.
Why?
He claims that he was having an affair with her.
Run that by me again?
Your brother, Rod, said he assaulted
Do you know how long I've been in
Resume
here?
your seat, please, Mr. House.
6 stinking years, that's how long. 6 years. Knowing I'd been set up. 6 years worrying about Fiona. 6 years wondering who the hell had done this to her. And you're telling me it was my brother?
Well, yes, this is what he claims, Mr. Housen.
I don't believe it. They are letting me out.
Not yet.
But you just said I'm innocent. You got to let me go.
Mr. Housen, these claims have to be investigated, don't they?
He's confessed! What more do you want?
You confessed and then you said you were innocent. He could be doing the same thing.
Why did you do it? Why make a full confession knowing that you hadn't done anything?
Because I was the easy option, that's why. They wanted a conviction, and I was it. 20 hours they kept on at me. 20 hours wondering where my wife was. Sick with worry. I didn't know what had happened to her. I thought she was going to die. I didn't think I'd see her again. But that son of a bitch just kept on at me. On and on until I broke.
Who did, Mr. Housen?
The up himself bastard asking all the questions. Passion.
She was going for Senior Detective Hasham with a machete. He really didn't have much choice.
And this opinion is based on what you saw.
That's correct?
And you saw all 3 shots, is that correct?
Yes.
Constable, are you aware that a videotape was made of this incident?
Yes, I am. It was made by the neighbour, Mr. Cole.
Can you look at the monitor and tell us if this is the tape?
Stopping me!
Looks like it.
And that is you and Senior Constable Schultz, pictured in the bottom right-hand corner?
That's correct.
You seem to be facing the other way, Constable. Would you agree with that?
Well, I was busy restraining Luke Darcy, but I turned around as soon as I heard the shots.
Heard the shots? So, in fact, you didn't see all 3 shots at all?
Well, maybe I'm getting a little bit confused with the tape footage. I mean, I've seen it that many times, but I'm pretty sure I saw most of it.
The last of the shots, perhaps?
Could be, yes.
All right, let's have a look at this last shot. Is that what you saw?
I guess so.
You guess so. Was it or wasn't
Yes,
it, Constable?
it was.
And can you describe for the court Mrs. Darcy's position at the time of the 3rd shot?
She was facing away from him.
So, in other words, what you actually saw was Senior Detective Hasham shoot Mrs. Darcy in the back.
Yeah.
Speak up, please, Constable.
Yes. It's correct.
I was busy trying to hang on to Luke Darcy at the time. I didn't see anything until it was all over.
You didn't even take a glance when you heard the shots?
I wasn't in a position to glance at anything.
So you're unable to form a personal judgment as to whether Detective Hasham's actions were justified?
I'm just saying to you that I didn't see any of the shots, that's all.
I'm going to give evidence.
Not a good idea,
Listen,
mate.
I'm getting done in there, all right?
Look, you're too emotional, too close to it, and Camillo will tear you to shreds.
Mate, he's right. She's a lawyer. You know what they're like. They're trained to have a go and you get under your skin. Is that right, Mr. Farrow?
I'll handle it. Just tell him what I saw.
Yeah, well, I was just trying to help and I ended up making things worse, didn't I?
Yeah, but it's no good blaming yourself.
Well, I'm just glad to be shot of it, that's all.
That's a nice choice of words, Adam.
Yes.
Hey, don't worry, cheer up, because tomorrow you can help me with the Great Mount Thomas mail robbery.
Right, someone's been helping themselves to a few mail order goodies, have
Oh,
they?
more than a few. We're talking like all the mail in all the houses in 5 whole streets worth.
Now, this could be the undercover job you've been waiting for, McKinley.
Really?
Where's Maggie?
You bashed her. You continue to bash her until she stops struggling. No! Isn't that right? No! Nicky, there's blood on your hair. Now, do you want to tell me how it got there? I don't know! You don't know? Well, I'll tell you how it got there. You bashed her repeatedly. You bashed her repeatedly until she stopped struggling. Isn't that right, mate? Isn't that right? Yes! All right, you're right.
See, he confessed.
Yeah. And then he changed his mind when it came to the trial.
Well, the court didn't believe him.
Yeah, because he was the only suspect then, PJ. Look, we're going to need something else, witnesses,
We
assault
had a
weapons,
confession.
something.
We had a confession, Maggie. I would have thought that was enough.
Did you look for the assault weapon at all?
What does it say we did?
Yeah. So there was a search of the
Then
house.
we looked for it.
Okay, what about the neighbouring properties?
Apparently not.
Look, PJ, if we can find this weapon, maybe we can tie it back with Mickey.
Look, Maggie. They're straight after the assault, right? He takes off in his car. Now, we pick him up 2 hours later, and now we could have chucked that weapon anywhere. He could have chucked it anywhere. It was 2 hours.
Don't you understand that this is probably the only thing that can prove that you got the right bloke, or don't you care?
Oh, I think so, yeah. I think I do care.
Well, then will you bloody help me? Did he say anything? Anything at
About
all?
what? What
Oh,
about?
God, about the assault weapon. What do you think?
I asked him.
And?
And nothing. Nothing.
Did you actually investigate this case at all?
Well, obviously, not the way you would have done it. No.
Hey. I didn't mean it.
Face it, Doyle, you haven't come up with anything so far.
Oh, come on, boss, we've got to give him every chance. I mean, when have we ever really known PJ to stuff it up?
Nobody's perfect.
Yeah, but boss, when it counts, have you ever really known him not to have the right instinct, to misjudge something? His intuition's good, right?
Yes.
Exactly. And what have we got to go on so far? Rodhausen's confession. That's it.
Mickey Housen was pretty convincing.
Yeah, but that still doesn't prove anything. Nothing we have proves that Rodhausen attacked his brother's wife. Now, I've got an idea. I'd like to search the property next door to Mickey's. It's been derelict for years. It's just possible that Mickey's hidden the assault weapon there.
Do you really think you'll find anything?
Well, maybe. Nobody searched it at the time of the assault. If we find it there, boss, it'll prove once and for all that Mickey did do it.
I don't see any point in prolonging the agony. I should get onto ESD.
Boss, 2 hours. We had a deal, remember?
The Great Mount Thomas mail robbery, eh?
Got the mail? Now we need the robber.
You got the assault weapon?
No, it wasn't there. The whole thing was a complete waste of time, Adam. There's more in the car. I'm going to go and have another chat with the Housens. What for? I'm going to make them produce an assault weapon.
Oh, that's going to do PJ a lot of good, isn't it?
Hey, Nick, will you just cover with the boss for me, huh?
What would you like me to tell him?
You just tell him that I got a hot lead and tell him not to call the ASD.
Margaret, I don't think it's a very good idea. Now, you heard me. I tried to tell her.
We're going to have to get somebody to look at that fridge. Terrible harm. You can't hear a thing out there.
I take it you haven't called internal investigation yet.
I'm due in court, actually.
Good.
And I fired a third time because the threat was still present. Mrs. Darcy still had possession of the weapon. I'd seen the look in her eye. There's no reason there, no room to negotiate. She was going to kill me. That's why I fired, to defend myself. I'm sorry that this had to happen, but it did.
Thank you, Senior Detective.
Miss Camillo, your witness.
Mr. Ash. How tall are you?
Approximately 183.
And how much do you weigh? Approximately.
Approximately 83.
And how much do you think Raylene Darcy might have weighed?
Hard to say.
Approximately, Senior Detective. We only need to talk approximately.
Abby, I'm sorry to disturb you. That's all right. I wanted to speak with Rod, but the doctor said not long now. A few more days, maybe. I'm sorry. Is he still lucid? Sometimes. But he's in such pain that the drugs just knock him out. Because, Abby, the question we asked yesterday about the assault weapon, it really would help us to prove Mickey's innocent if Rod could tell us where it is. I'm not sure he'd remember. Not now. I know it's asking an awful lot. But if Rod really wants to help Mickey and he dies before we can prove anything...
I really don't think... I think you might be too late.
And after the firing of the first shot, when you say that you were aware that Mrs. Darcy's shoulder had been struck...
No, I didn't say that I was aware. I'm saying that I'm aware now. I've since seen the video.
I'm sorry, but you do understand the need for precision here, don't you? You understand that we need to clarify what was going through your head at the precise moment you fired each shot.
Well, the whole thing lasted less than a second.
That's right. But if you thought for even a split second that the danger had passed and you continued to fire...
I thought she was still coming at me with a machete.
Yes, well, she wasn't, was she? By the time you fired the third shot, she was falling with her back to you.
I was still under threat. She had possession of the machete.
And what was she going to do with it? Throw it at your ankle?
I have no idea.
You have no idea.
Look, I didn't murder her. I was defending myself.
Well, that's what we're here to decide, Senior Detective.
Yep, all the same streets, all right.
Well, let's get it back to the post office then.
No, not until you've gone through that lot, you won't.
Gone through it, Nick. There are over 500 letters here.
What are we looking for, anyway?
Dates, postmarks, open letters, anything that tells you who might have taken the mail and why.
How'd you go, mate?
All right.
Come on.
We'll just have to wait and see, I think.
Well, not for long, you wait. That's Abby Howson. Something about an assault weapon.
And here we have Mrs. Darcy. 161 centimetres, 57 kilos, twisting, hand upraised, 1/5 of a second after the second shot was fired. Does that look to you like a woman intent on inflicting injury, Senior Detective?
What you've got there is a slowed-down version of events. It didn't happen like that. You don't have time to think.
Well, isn't that what you've been saying? That you do have time to think? That you knew at all times what you were doing?
No, I've been saying the whole thing was a blur and it was over in half a second.
You're not trying to tell us that you fired indiscriminately?
No, I fired.
Because?
Look, I've been up here for 3 hours answering the same questions again and again. Now, you can ask all these questions as much as you like. As many different ways as you like. You might even confuse me, you know? Get me to say that I did it, that I murdered this woman. Well, I know what happened because you know why? I was there. I was there. And I saw what happened. And nothing you say can change that.
If you want to do time for murder, you're going the right way about it.
It just keeps going on and on. She won't let up.
It was your idea to go in the box.
I just don't see how she expects me to analyse the events of a split second.
Well, you better start seeing, matey, or the next time you give evidence, it'll be at your own trial. I'll see you back here in an hour.
Yes, see ya.
Excuse us, please. You know I cannot make you say anything you don't want to, all right? It's a strategy, that's all. You stay focused. You'll be all right.
Yeah, fine.
Come on.
Yeah, let's go for a walk.
Senior Detective, got any comment you'd like to make? Word
The assault weapon.
So Abby Howson says. Knew they'd try something like this.
You don't think it's genuine?
Oh, well, boss, what do you think? 20 minutes after I visit her in hospital, Rod suddenly remembers what he did with this?
He beats his brother's wife senseless and then he calmly washes this and then puts it back in his own toolbox. Come on.
Not such a bad plan, I wouldn't have thought. I mean, nobody's ever thought to look there, have they?
All right, then. What about the devoted wife? If I found out that my husband was a sadistic bash artist who wrongly let his brother be in prison for 12 years, I wouldn't want anything to do with him.
That's all well and good, but what have you actually proved?
That if this isn't the assault weapon, that proves that Rod and Abby are pulling a scam.
Yes, but you can't eliminate this as the assault weapon until it's been checked by forensic.
Plus, forensic will take weeks. We need answers now.
I know that. I can't think of what else to suggest. PJ?
Yeah?
PJ.
There you go.
Rod Howson says this is the weapon used to assault Fiona.
Rodhausen.
Yeah, we don't believe him. It's too convenient at Abbyhausen's. PJ, we'll make them tell the truth. PJ? I know they're lying.
Maybe I got it wrong, Mags. Maybe I did stuff up.
No, you didn't stuff up. You're a good copper. You've got to stop doing this to yourself.
Milo's right. I didn't know what I was doing when I fired that third bullet.
So what? How could you know? You had someone trying to kill you. What are you supposed to do? Tell me that.
I shot her in the back, Mags. I lost control and I shot her in
See,
the back.
PJ, now you're playing her game. You're breaking it down into tiny fractions of a second. It didn't happen like that. It happened like this. You made a split-second judgment. You couldn't stretch time out like she could with a tape. Hers is a distortion. It's a lie. You know, you were in that moment. That is exactly where the truth is.
No, I got it wrong. I got it wrong. I misjudged it like I misjudged Mickey House.
No, you didn't misjudge anything. Can't you see that?
Do you believe that? Do you? Monica, I must really be in trouble then, huh?
If you're referring to the coroner's inquest, that's not the reason for my visit.
Oh, yeah?
I'm here about the Howson matter. Mickey Howson's lawyer's petitioning for his early release.
Yes, Senior Sergeant.
Of course, what ESD is asking is why they weren't immediately informed.
Because we didn't see the need for it. The brothers obviously lied.
Doyle. It was my decision. Perhaps we should talk about it in my office.
Sure. Constable Doyle.
And that's the only reason we decided to hold off. We thought that an ESD investigation might be prejudicial to PJ during a coronial inquest. I know that you and PJ have had a few run-ins over the years.
Well, I'm not relishing this, if that's what you're implying.
No, that's not what I mean. Well, we just thought... I didn't want to undermine PJ's confidence in himself, or the coroner's confidence for that matter, if Rodney Howson was going to turn out to be a deathbed confessor chasing a compensation claim. I mean, surely you have to see that.
I do see that, yes. There'll still have to be an ESD inquiry. However, nothing in the rule book says it has to be today.
That's great. Thank you very much.
Not at all. Perhaps next time you'll confide in me.
Yeah, we will. Well, if you'll excuse me, I'm off to see Abby Howson to make her tell the truth about this.
No, you're not. I'm sorry. I want you to stay away from the Housens. As of now, the local investigation's closed.
Senior Sergeant PJ is in the witness box again
No,
this
Maggie,
afternoon.
it already looks like a cover-up.
With all due respect, his self-esteem is so
As
low.
of now, the local investigation's closed. Do I make myself clear? Right, well, I'll get my assistant to chase up the details. I'll need the original brief, of course, and the interview tape.
No problem.
Well, good luck with the rest of the inquest.
Yeah, thanks. You might finally get what you wanted.
What's that?
Me out of the job.
It's only bad coppers I want off the job, PJ.
So, my fate's in the hands of Monica Draper, eh?
It's not that bad, mate. She's agreed to hold off on the ESD investigation till after the inquest.
Still reckon I'm going down.
Doyle, where are you going?
Off to see a man about a dog.
Blame it on the fridge.
Abby,
No more questions, please.
Not with Rod. With you. I think that it was Mickey's idea. He gets his freedom, we get to share the compensation money. And Abby, who could blame you for that? You've got a daughter to bring up on your own, a roof to put over your head. And God, the grief on its own is going to be enough to deal with, let alone anything else.
What would you know about it?
To be quite honest, probably not very much. I do know that I could never be in love with somebody that beat a woman's head in with a monkey wrench.
Maybe we're different.
Yeah, maybe we are, Abby. But nobody wants to see the reputation of someone that they really love destroyed. Especially when that's all that's left. Can you honestly say that you want your daughter growing up believing that her father was a criminal?
Rod just wanted us to be safe. To have a nice house. Nice things. To be happy.
So, did it not occur to you that some other course of action might be possible?
Not in the circumstances, no.
How many hours of training do you think you've had, Detective? Your Worship.
Senior Detective Hasham, may I remind you, you're facing some very serious questions here.
You just don't get it, do you?
Mr. Hasham.
No, we're not talking about robots, we're talking about people here.
Mr. Hasham.
Police are people, they're not machines. Now, you want us to protect you, but you don't give us the right to protect ourselves.
Mr. Hasham, I'm
Now, you
warning
really think that we don't know the difference when somebody is making a threat to us and they're trying to kill us? I mean, you're standing there and you're staring at a crazed woman charging down at you with a machete. And you just hope to God that your training kicks in because you know what? You're a bit scared. You know that, you sort of know if you don't stop them, then I'll get you first.
So, all due discretion. Extreme and difficult circumstances.
It's the right result, mate.
Yeah, right it is.
It should give Camilla a crisis of confidence.
Yeah, thanks, Derek.
You must be feeling pretty good. Well done.
Well, Raylene's still dead.
Yeah. Well, look, come on. First round drinks on me.
So that sounds great. You coming down?
Yeah.
Good man. Good. Sit down there.
See you, fellas. Thank you.
There you go. Very good.
Congratulations.
Oh, he's right. He's in the clear.
Oh, yes! Drink at the Imperial.
No, you finish that one first.
Oh, Maggie, yep, there's someone to see you down in... Thanks. Abby, hi.
You said I'd have to make a statement.
Look, under the circumstances, we'll do it later. You should be with your husband now.
Rod died shortly after you left the hospital.
I'm sorry.
We'll be all right. Actually, I dropped in to see you as much as anything. To say thank you.
Abby, I was really...
No, really. I was... If we'd gone through with what we planned, the whole world would have thought Rod was... And you were right. No amount of money was worth that.
Hey, Nick, check this out.
I don't believe this. I've just about given up hope.
Well, that's why I never heard from her. I never got delivered.
Posted in Sydney Airport 3 months ago. On her way to India. She'd be back by now.
What's she saying, man?
As if you haven't read it. Well, she's about as enlightening as ever. Says next time she sees me, she'll be married to Sam's dad. Much to hope for an invitation for the wedding, I suppose.
Well, you weren't there for the first one, so I broke with tradition.
months. I thought she was dead. God, I could wring that postie's neck. Have you caught him yet?
No, but there's a pattern emerging.
What, stealing valuables?
No, the mail, it was due for delivery the third Tuesday every month. The GGs.
Mount Thomas races.
Yeah, the post likes to have a bit of a flutter.
Good morning.
Good morning, comrades. How are we?
Same old, same old.
Yeah? So where's, Miss Doyle?
She's in the boss's office. With Monica Draper.
Yeah? What's she after?
I don't know, mate. She didn't look too happy when she came in there, though.
This is about Rod House,
PJ,
isn't
you
it?
can't just barge in here like that.
It's all right. I've already finished.
I just want you to know that I owe Constable Doyle a lot.
Well, the point's been made, PJ, and taken into account. Now, if you'll excuse me.
What did she say?
AJ, leave it, please.
What's that?
This? Nothing.
Have a look.
No, it's got nothing to do with you.
Maggie,
Fine.
what is going on?
So where's that lot off? Where's that off to?
Town.
Okay, who's coffee?
Oh, yes, please.
Yeah, I'd love one. Can I have a white with one, please? Yep.
This is a caution notice.
Yeah, it's nothing. Not worried about it.
No, it's not nothing. Just goes on your file. I don't know what to say.
Oh, you don't have to say anything. You'd have done exactly the same thing. And besides, I didn't do it for you, I did it for me.
You? What do you mean?
I didn't want to think what it'd be like around here without you. I don't want to lose you.
PJ.